All right, switching gears now. We're going to do something a little different today because we've got an awesome package here from Horizon Hobbies, which means you know what, RC time. And look at what the cat dragged in. So, for those of you who don't know, this is anticipated to be the best model plane in this genre to date. This is a foam plane, but it is a 2-meter scale replica of the Draco by Mike Patey. And the full scale, the actual plane in real life is actually gone. It was in a terrible little crash, and he's okay. But I am absolutely jacked on this thing. So we're going to get this up and see. Well, we're going to take it out of the box and put it together and see what it's all about. And this is a STOL, short takeoff and landing, as you can see. And I used to have the Eflite Timber. It was a 1.5 meter, I think. So not quite as big as this, but it used to take off in 10 feet, if that. This thing supposedly can take off literally in half the distance. Okay, even the box is impressive. It's just, I kind of want to display the box. All right, so we got our transmitter all set up. I'm using the DX8 with this one. So we've got control of pretty much everything on the plane. Absolutely everything. Flaps. Do test here. On, and there's full flap. And we got mixing in the elevator. A little bit of mixing with the flaps. That's good. Got aileron with a little bit of mixing in the rudder. We got prop. And we got reverse. That's good. We got lights. Yeah. That'll look really cool at night. We'll do a sunset flight with it. If it survives its maiden. Well, let's see. It should be fine. Okay. So, we're going to try to do a maiden flight. It's been a tough time getting out here and actually getting some time to do it. The wind is not cooperating. It's pretty windy. We're looking at probably a 15 or 12 mile an hour wind. You can see pretty horizontal. So the good thing is it's going with the road, so I'll be able to land into the wind, and at least I'll just have to do some power on landing. But we'll see. This thing with this wind is probably not going to take up very much real estate when it takes off, and that's kind of exciting. That's the whole point of it. So let's get this thing going. Eventually I want to fly it at the farm, but I wanted to at least maiden it with a little more room, just in case. Trim it out, all that good stuff, see what it's like. So we've got a 6S 5,000 milliamp battery. It's all the way back. I probably should fly with a little more forward CG, being windy like this, but I'm gonna go for it as they say. The CG right now is where they say it should be. A little bit nose, which is what they say is what we want. So
check out those pilots.
Yeah, look at that. There's Mike Petey and me, I guess. The duck. All right. Powering on. Go. All right. So there we go. Awesome. One of the other things that we did was we programmed the reverse on this button up here instead of this switch, which was dangerous because if you flick that by accident, you're going to go into reverse while you're flying. So this is normally a gear up switch. We don't want to use that. We want this switch to be it's a button, so you can hold that and use that for reverse. Anyway, let's see how this thing does. I'm going to take off with no flaps into the wind, and let's see, I'm going to taxi it. Jeez. It uses the whole road to taxi. a wide flame. All right, into the wind, ready? There she goes. A little bit of trim. Let's turn. Wow. Definitely feel that wind. Okay, so that feels pretty stable now. Alright. I'm going to come for a little bit of a low pass. We'll see how she feels. I'm just going to feel it out. Nice. Let's walk up here a little ways. Hopefully you guys can see it. You're probably hearing the wind in this video. It is pretty windy. I'm going to make an approach. Can you stand behind me?
Yeah.
Wow, she's moving around. She's sliding around quite a bit. So I'm gonna come back around. Let's move up here so the car's not in the way. Definitely don't want to hit my car. You can see how much speed it has with that tailwind. Really affecting it. Okay, another approach. Let's come in nice and smooth. Okay, we're light on power now. Okay. So that was good. I see a car coming, so I'm going to kind of bring her back over here. Doesn't turn around very easily, so I got to go grab it. But that's the Maiden flight. Everything seemed to check out. Okay. All right, so this time we're going to do a short takeoff. Lights on. How about that, huh?
That's awesome.
Okay, here we go. Ready? I mean, that thing just gets in the air. Quick. Let's bring her around now for hopefully a good smooth landing. That's what this thing's good at. Lights on. Alright, let's go around. A lot of wind.
There's some traffic coming back.
Okay, well, I'm gonna fly around.
Yeah.
Let me know when that traffic's passed. Well, we'll wait for it to go by. Looks like that's it. Okay, here we go. Oh! crazy. This thing is really knocked around by that wind. You can see a lot of adverse yaw. It has some mixing in the rudder for that, but honestly, you have to fly this plane. This is not, I would not recommend this plane for a beginner, for sure. And maybe in a nice calm environment, we'll try it, but it has a ton of lift. You can really, really feel this thing moving around in a wind. And I was doing my best to keep it on track there for a landing on the road, which I almost didn't do. So, word of caution for anybody. Honestly, an EDF is easier to fly than this. So, let me go grab the plane. You want here? Let's go talk about it for a second. So, like I mentioned before, flying in wind is a completely different world. You have to maintain some airspeed. If you get any shear at all, or if you get any dead spots in the wind, you're gonna fall with this plane because it is all lift. But let me get the camera real quick. I'll just walk around. Throw throttle cut on. Hold that. So, really cool plane. Awesome short takeoff, as you can see from the video. I love the lights. We got some strobe action and everything. And I'm just really happy to be able to get this thing flying. I ultimately would like to take off and land over at the farm. I think it'll do it no problem as long as there's not that much wind. But man, on a windy day, this thing gets your blood pumping, even though it doesn't it doesn't look like it. It's a really cool plane. The landing gear is super strong on this thing. You can see it's got suspension, it's got shocks on the front wheels and on the tail. So the mains and the rear are absorbing those impacts, and they know that you're going to be landing this thing in rough terrain or in weather like this in the wind. So there's another feature too with this plane. I'll just show it to you guys real quick. Let me see it. Get camera girl Carla back on. A really cool feature with the plane is it has reverse. So the plane can actually back up, which I think is kind of interesting. I don't foresee ever using that, honestly, just because I know when you're landing this thing, I mean, it stops pretty quick. It doesn't really roll out. So, really cool plane though. I'm really pumped on it. I hope you guys enjoy seeing me Maiden fly this thing. And I can't wait to get more airtime. Here's another big plus of this plane. It fits in the Volkswagen. So in case, you know, in case you have a small hatch like the Volkswagen, you can have one of these. And that's pretty spectacular to be able to transport a big old plane like this with a 2-meter wingspan in the back of a little hatch. So, in fact, we brought 2 planes, but it's too windy to fly this little guy. But stay tuned, we'll be flying that one soon. Anyway, thumbs up on the Draco. See you guys in the next one.